When we last left off, BLR Council was trying, without a lot of success, to find out how it paid $75,000 of our tax dollars on an invoice for gravel without following any of our procurement rules. And the township staff, whose statutory duty it is to make sure we follow the law, didn't really have a good answer either. Which is when the police investigation started. If you haven't seen it, you can see that video here. Let's bring you up to speed on what we now know. After doing some research, BLR Council determined that it wasn't a single invoice for $75,000, but actually 4 invoices, all from the same company, for a whopping grand total of $162,000, all spent outside of the procurement bylaw. This is where some on council became justifiably concerned. 1 invoice slipping through the cracks is an oversight. 4 is a serious problem. So council decided to hit the pause button and gave clear direction not to pay any more invoices on this matter, which they thought the township staff fully understood. But only 2 days after getting direction from council, township staff uncovered another invoice from the same company, this time for $9,000. Remarkably, it was marked paid, a check cut, and mailed in what appears to be direct contravention of what they were told to do. If you're wondering who's running this place, you're not alone. Meanwhile, BLR Council wrote a letter to the gravel company explaining that the proper procedures were not followed and asking if the price could be amended. The response letter was entirely predictable. The gravel company, that had already been paid by us, quickly responded by saying that they were not negotiating or changing the price, and that they apologized proper procedure was not followed, but it was not their mistake. Which, when you think about it, is true. So whose mistake is it then? Or to put it a better way, who is accountable for this? Public accountability is not something we expect from private companies, but we do have an expectation that all those words apply to our municipal organizations, and that they are accountable to the public. So let's do some accounting then. Let's start with who does what job. The council determines through the budget process all the things that we need to buy. They're also responsible for all the resolutions and bylaws that govern how we buy things. Now let's examine the staff. Provincial law establishes the duties and responsibilities of municipal staff. In brief, those duties include monitoring of contracts, ensuring that the contracts are prepared in accordance with the procurement bylaw, that all payments are properly and legally done, as well as being responsible for the internal controls on finances throughout the entire organization. Now that we know whose job is whose, we can apply a pass-fail and quickly see where the failures are. And there's one bonus failure, and that belongs to the council, on failing to manage their personnel, particularly their office staff. Which brings us back to the police investigation. The police are trying to determine whether or not this is criminal or simply incompetent. At the end of the day, the police may very well come back and say there's not enough evidence for a fraud conviction. Fair enough, but I think it's going to be close. If they determine it's not criminal, the people who are going to be concerned about our level of competency are the provincial government, particularly the Ministry of Municipal Affairs. And when you show that you haven't been paying attention to the details, a whole host of other investigative bodies become interested in you from the province. This is not going away.